21 guns is considered the highest national honor. Thus 21 guns at a soldier's funeral, 21 guns at the funeral of a fallen officer, and 21 steps before the tomb of the unknown soldier. My name is Brian Fry with the Stockton Police Department. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier was established in 1921. The unknown soldiers laid to rest at the tomb represent all missing and unknown service members who made the ultimate sacrifice. They not only gave their lives, but also their identities to protect these freedoms. The tomb is the final resting place for unknowns from World War I, World War II, and the Korean War. How was the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier connected with me? In 1995, I joined the United States Army, finding myself stationed with the 3rd Infantry Regiment Honor Guard in Fort Myer, Virginia. Approximately 9 to 10 months later, I found myself volunteering for something called the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Now, I had no idea what that meant, only that I would be able to be one of the select few individuals to be able to receive a badge that not too many people in the military get the honor of wearing. I quickly learned that there was a lot more that went into being a sentinel at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier that I could have ever thought of. I was spending roughly 8 hours a day shining my brass, about 5 hours a day shining my shoes, and about 2 hours pressing my uniform. It wasn't until one day, probably 8 months later, when I just finished walking one of my shifts. I came down to our quarters and one of my soldiers said there were 2 women in the foyer that wanted to speak with me. I walked out to the foyer and was met by a woman who extended her hand and thanked me for what I was doing. She told me that she comes to Arlington National Cemetery every year to pay her respects to her husband who never returned home from the Vietnam War. I asked what section he was buried in, and she told me that he is the unknown from the Vietnam War and that I guard him 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Today was the first time that she was able to bring her daughter to Arlington National Cemetery for her to pay her respects to her father. It was at that time that I realized I wasn't at the tomb for a shiny piece of metal. I was there for a much greater purpose, the ability to pay my respects to those who paid the ultimate sacrifice, the loss of their identities for my freedom. On behalf of the Stockton Police Department, we would like to say thank you to all the men and women who have served in our armed forces.